But the Oilers are sort of a different team than the Leafs, for example. They're getting a lot of production from their biggest guns. And what is the difference in that? Like, why is that happening?
Well, one of the things that I think happens is that Jay Woodcroft can put Draisaitl and McDavid together, and individually they're a handful. But when you put them together, I think it becomes a real significant challenge for the opponent. And McDavid's the best player on the planet. Draisaitl, if anybody's going to argue that he's not the second best player on the planet right now, I might vehemently disagree. So you have these, and keep in mind what they did last year. So they came out of last year with a lot of confidence in terms of how they play and what they need to do come playoff time. So I talk about that. That period of time we want it to be shorter, but Draisaitl and McDavid have been in the league longer than Matthews and Marner and Nylander.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about, and there was questions about, McDavid's going to have to show it in the playoffs and what goes with playoff hockey. And, Wayne Gretzky famously said there's 4 seasons: the preseason, the regular season, the playoffs, and then the Stanley Cup final. And now you have to go through those things to understand them and go through those different experiences to understand them. And I think that that's what's happened for McDavid and Draisaitl. It's always happening for players. And when you really start to understand it and apply it, I think that that's when you can become a little bit more comfortable in knowing, okay, this is what it takes and this is what I have to do. Not that it's easy. It's never easy. But now you understand it and you can do it. I think that's where McDavid and Draisaitl find themselves. And when you dominate the playoffs like they did last year, I think that certainly is going to buoy anybody's confidence. And when you're two of the best players on the planet, if not the 2 best, then you certainly become a handful. And the Edmonton Oilers also, we look at McDavid and Draisaitl, just like Toronto with Matthews and Marner, and you just think just because of 2. The Edmonton Oilers, this is the best team they've had since Connor McDavid's been there. We can argue that this is the best team or near the best team that Toronto's had, but it's not just about a couple of players. It's always about more than a couple of players. And if you're just going to look to 2 players, I think that's where you can fall short, because it's going to take a lot more than 2 players to have success when it comes to playoff hockey.